Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Jack. Jack is a coach and a personal trainer from Ireland. So let's see what Jack has to say. Enjoy the interview.
I'm in. It's working.
How are you, Jack? How are you doing today?
Good, William. Sorry, man. You're a bit quiet. Let's give me a second here. That's a bit better.
Yep.
That's better. Yeah, thanks for having me.
That's okay, my pleasure. Thanks so much for taking the time on Monday for the interview. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Not at all. Thank you.
Okay, Jack, so just before we start the game, tell me, where are you from?
Ireland, here. I'm in Carrick-on-Shannon, which is the centre, pretty much the centre of the country. So it's cold. It's cold and windy, but it's not too bad. It's pretty. So
tell me, what's the best part of living there?
It's a nice community. It's a small kind of community around here. It's we're in a very small estate. There's only maybe 20 houses around us, and it's just very nice. Everyone knows each other. It's very quiet. Lots of kids everywhere for our kids, which is nice. So it's kind of a step away from the busier towns and cities we've lived in the past. So yeah, we love it. It's very nice, very relaxed. I'm too relaxed.
And that's the place where you were born and you've been raised?
No, I was born in Dublin, which is the capital basically of Ireland, and then I grew up in Mullingar, which is really in the centre, and we're a bit further back from that now. We're more on the other side of that, but it's all kind of Midlands, the Midlands of the country, you know. So
I see.
Yeah. It's all the same. When you live in Ireland, it's all the same.
I've been Dublin a few years ago. Yeah, like more than 10 years actually. I was already living in London, and it was February. Actually, it was during this month, and I remember it was like a group of 4 of us, a lot of 3 friends from work. And I remember I said, "Oh, let's go for the weekend somewhere," and everyone, "Let's go to Dublin." And we got the plane, and before we went, everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be rain, it's going to be cold, it's going to be like miserable, this and that." Guess what? It was so hot the weekend, couldn't believe. Everyone was like, "Oh my God," it was so warm, and the weather as well. We couldn't believe.
One time in a decade, probably. It was warm every day.
And my friend said, "Willie, I think it's because you're Brazilian, you brought the whole sun."
That's good though, you got a good time, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was amazing. We, of course, went to the Temple Bar. I remember the Temple Bar was the main attraction of the city. So I think it was good fun. That's Jack, nice. Tell me, what do you do for a living?
Yeah, so I coach at the moment is what I'm doing. I'm coaching people basically on just getting really consistent with completely changing their lives and their physiques, and really getting it within their own control. You know, taking all the complication out of it, really simplifying it, and making it really enjoyable. You know, the whole process. You know, there's a very negative attachment to the weight loss fitness industry, you know, and people feel that it's a full content, which it is. so I try to just make it very straightforward, very simple, and put mindset kind of tools in place to help people be consistent and basically create good habits and really get themselves in alignment between their head and their body. That's what I do.
I see. Right. So just before we start our game, Will in the Magic Box, I would like to start the show with a phrase that I saw on your profile on Instagram. It says, "I coach people on how to lose weight easily without give up their favorite foods." So tell me about this technique. Tell about that.
Yeah, well, look, I regularly change that. But, look, that's a common one that people seem to be drawn by. You know, people are really drawn to that one because, look, most people think that to get in good shape, they have to give up something. You know, people think that, you know, in order to get, they have to sacrifice. And, you know, you do have to sacrifice, but you sacrifice kind of your attention span. You know, you sacrifice focus. You don't need to sacrifice the things you enjoy. You can still go out, you can still drink and eat nice foods. You just have to understand them. And once you understand them, you can manipulate them. And once you can manipulate them, you can do what you want. As long as you're overarching control of everything, you know? So, yeah, that's a good one because people usually assume they have to give up with food and they don't. So, keep it simple.
No, I totally understand, and actually, I think it's a very fresh and new way of approaching the fitness industry because, of course, I think in the past, when you think about fitness, you always think about, okay, I cannot eat this, I cannot eat that, I cannot do that. So I think that with this new way of approaching fitness, I think it's a good way, and people, they get more attracted to it. People get more, involved as well, because most of the people, they don't start this fitness, like path because of their food, because some of the food is like, oh my God, I know it's hard, but I think the fitness world, they as they are doing, they are kind of, let's say, they are adjust themselves as well to accommodate, everyone, I believe.
Yeah, it's becoming a lot more holistic, I suppose. It's getting more in tune with the. Well, look, I mean, the fitness industry. Look, I shouldn't be bad about any this kind of the whole industry, really. But it's been a bit of a con industry for a long time. All these extreme diets, super low calorie diets, the mad things that have been sold to people. Not to mention all the crazy exercise equipment. So it's a money making industry, and it's about time that it's becoming a bit more straightforward and honest with how to actually get to these places you want to get to. So on Instagram especially, there's a lot of fitness influencers or coaches that are just being much more honest about it, and it's going to, I think, do a lot of good in the long run. A lot more people are going to start taking it within control, of themselves.
Absolutely. Okay, so through the game, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career, about Ireland as well. So are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Let's go for it. See what we do.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here a full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, right? Let's do it. Okay, Jack, so just before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't have an answer, I always can change, okay? It's all very friendly, okay?
Cool.
Let's start. First question for you is, how would you describe a perfect, healthy relationship?
Honest, that's all. Yeah, honesty, straightforward, just communicate clearly what's going on, what you feel, and it's hard. People struggle with that. I mean, I struggled with it. I think most people do. But if you want to have a relationship for the long run, honesty is the only thing that's going to do it.
Absolutely. I think communication is one of the main keys. You know what I mean? There's no communication, so how can you manage a relationship with no communication between both? I think it's and of course, be honest as well. I think it's one of the things that you always need to be clear.
Well, they go together. They go together. I mean, you can communicate, but sometimes you can communicate and not be honest about why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And then,
absolutely,
I agree with you. It's the two things. I think the two things together bring it together quite nicely. So yeah, be honest and communicate it well, and kind of keep those channels open, as people say.
Absolutely. And I think relationships like a maintenance every day is new challenge, every day something to, it's a hard part, can be hard, but at the same time it's worth taking. You know what I mean? When you have someone that you love, someone that you want for life, you need to, adjust yourself and follow the path. Totally.
Absolutely.
Next question, Jack. Let's do it. Next question for you is, which question you wouldn't have an answer for?
What question would I not have an answer for?
Yes.
I suppose the best one I can give, which relates to what I do, is when someone asks me, what exercises do I need to do? For me, that's not a straightforward answer, and it always comes down to the individual and what they're interested in and what they enjoy doing and what they want to be able to keep doing. So that's never something that can be answered straightforwardly, but a lot of people kind of hope there's the simple answer,
Very good, very good. And you're saying that, Jack, most of your clients, they are male or female?
Mostly male, yeah. The odd female here and there, but it tends to be mostly male. And a lot of people from the LGBT community, actually, so far. for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a funny one. Yeah, but yeah, there seems to be good communication line open there through Instagram. For whatever reason that's happened, it has. So I'll go with it. I wasn't thinking about it initially, but it seems to be the way it's gone. So take what happens, and yeah, I mean everyone I've worked with has been so nice, so open and willing to communicate very honestly and deeply about a lot of things as well. So it's yeah, it's been a fascinating journey so far, and lots more to learn. Yeah, it was good fun.
You said something that made me think about something. Now, my best friend, he's straight. He lives in Canada, and a long time ago, he said to me, "William, why all the gay guys they are so fit?" Like, and I told him, I said, I think it's because gay guys usually, of course not everyone, but we have this tendency of working out and being shape. I think that's something. But when he told me that, I was like, you made me think now. I never thought about that before.
A great question for the future.
There you go. Next question. Let's do it. Okay, Jack, before the next question, tell me how the fitness industry came into your life. Always early age, or tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I was always really into everything physical. I always was. I loved sprinting. I always wanted to do boxing and stuff like that when I was younger, but my parents weren't too impressed with that too much. I remember being given the nod to not do that a few times, so I do it now. But yeah, I started off with kind of everything. By the time I was 15 or 16, I kind of got more into trying to figure out how to go to the gym and get stronger, build muscle and all that kind of stuff. But it wasn't until I was really in my 20s that I kind of learned a bit more, learned how to figure it out, how to get stronger, build muscle, cut, all that kind of stuff. And then coming into my 30s now, it's just been a combination of everything I've learned, with all the qualifications I've done, with all the time I've spent with so many people that knew more than me, and it's just been a culmination of knowledge over a lifetime at this point. Yeah, so 20 years nearly of nearly 20 years of it at this stage. So plenty more to go, but it's yeah, I love it. I think it's I think when your body is at its peak, when you're looking after to the peak that you can get it to, it tends to line up with your mind, from my experience. So when I'm aligned in my head, my body's in tune. When my body's in tune, my mind's in tune. And when I let either one of them slide, the other tends to follow pretty quick. So I use it as kind of a gauge for keeping an eye on myself. And everyone I've worked with and coached seems to find the same. So the better shape they get in, the better they feel. And it's a good cycle once you're in it.
I see. And when you were like a teenage or a child at school, were you involved in sports as well? No, actually, there's hurling here. I'm sure. Have you heard of hurling before? About what?
Hurling, the sport hurling. No.
Oh yes, with
the stick and then the slitter. Yeah. So I will self-proclaimedly say I was really good when I was young.
Wow.
And I actually went down a music route of learning music, and I became decent enough at playing flute. So I actually stopped playing hurling because there was such a risk to my fingers. I almost broke them a few times. So unfortunately, I left the more kind of physical sports alone for a long time to watch over my hands, So that was what I did. I was more of a music head and did the gym in my spare time.
Okay, next question for you is, do you have a unique ability that you think no one has or you never met before?
I don't know how unique it is. I suppose it's something I work on a lot, and I think a lot of people are probably very good at it, but it's not the kind of thing that's talked about a lot, and that's kind of just really evaluating what I'm doing in my head and watching myself, especially with honesty related things to how I'm kind of acting with people in work or my family or whatever. I've become very good at kind of really being honest with why I'm doing things or why I feel things and say things. And I find that the more I do that, the simpler it gets and the less time I have to spend trying to discern what's for the good reasons or what's for the bad reasons. So I think that's a good thing I've used to have that I've created. And I think, I don't know who does that or doesn't do that, but for me, that was a big turning point in my life to start doing that, paying attention.
Very good. Good one. Next question, Jack. Let's do it. Jack, before the next question, tell me what's the best part of being a coach? And of course, there's always a challenging part as well. Tell me what that would be.
So the most challenging part is definitely getting people consistent. It's kind of a funny one because it also ties into what's the most rewarding. The most rewarding part of it is kind of using the mindset tool kind of side of things, you know, when it comes to consistency and kind of embodying how you want to be, you know, when you get there, but doing it preemptively, you know. So the best part of it is talking about the tools and people getting really engaged and really excited about it. Because they know when you're talking about that, you know, this connects with you or it doesn't, and people get very excited, kind of seeing the path to feeling good, you know. And especially when they start realizing that actually it's not going to take 9 months before I feel good. I'm going to feel good in about 20 days or 30 days. Even if I still have more to go, I'm going to start feeling these feelings really quick. So that's a really, really, really exciting session when we go through some of those things. People started kind of really taking them in. But the most difficult thing, if I didn't describe it properly, is when people aren't too interested in that, and you're trying to get them to apply something that's going to help them, because usually the same people that don't show too much interest in that are the same people that aren't consistent, and it's because they're just not fully in it. Now, that's not always the case. There is some people that are just very methodical and they don't need the mindset kind of way of thinking about it too much. They can just flick a switch and off they go, you know. And fair use to them, that's great. But a lot of people, they just don't have the interest. And then, unfortunately, it becomes a lot of work for me then to kind of keep them on track and keep touching base consistently to keep them consistent, so that can get tiring. But look, everyone that's done it always gets to where they want to get to. And yeah, it's a good journey.
Very good. Next question for you is, what's your idea of a perfect friendship?
Perfect friendship. Yeah, honesty again, I'd say. Honesty, fun, some combination of dark humors, along with being able to wind each other up. That's always a good fun. So yeah, honesty in the midst of all that though, because, you know, we can all have these friendships that are kind of good fun, but you know, when sometimes when you need people, then they're not there. So kind of you need the real foundation so that you can have the crack, you know.
And your best friends, they live as well the same town as you, the same city, or they live all over the place?
All over the place. Yeah. Jesus, I only have one friend, one friend left from the beginning of my time on Earth. I think. Oh. Oh God, I hope I'm not forgetting about someone, but I've got one friend left that I've been friends with since we were, I don't know, 3 or 4. So shout out to Killian. Shout out to Killian. Friendship going 27 years long now at this stage, so going good.
Oh, amazing. Next one. Okay, Jack from Ireland. Next question for you is, where are you planning to go for your next holidays?
Next time, we actually just booked it a few days ago. I've actually forgotten. It's Galway. We're going to Galway. Our kids are 3, and he will be just nearly 8 months, I think, at the time. So they're both very young. And we haven't even got his passport yet, so we're not going anywhere. So we go to Galway. We just go for a drive. It's about, I didn't actually check. I think it's about a 2-hour drive, and we'll stay in a nice lodge somewhere on the coast up there, and just relax, go to the aquarium and have some fun with the kids. So we're looking forward to that.
Oh my God, so you have 2 kids?
2 kids, yeah, a girl and a boy.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, they're very fun, very fun.
Oh, beautiful. Who's the oldest, the boy or the girl?
The girl, Sophia, she's nearly 3 now, she's 3 next month. And Eli is, he's the boy, and he is just gone 6 months now at this stage, so.
Oh my God.
It's busy. So my apologies if they run in the door.
It's interesting because, as I mentioned before to you in the beginning, that my best friend, he lives in Canada, he's French, and actually they had a baby as well, 2 years old. Actually, he's my godson. I just went to visit him for Christmas and New Year's Eve. So it was my first time that I met him, and they're expecting as well a second one now. It's doing in April. Anyway, so I always love children as well. I think being around children, is just full of energy. But I never spent so much time, almost 3 weeks around him. I was like, oh my God, where they get this energy from? I was like, oh my goodness.
It's a different world when you're looking at kids. Yeah, it's crazy.
My God, yes. I said to them, okay, I always want to have a child, but after those 3 weeks, I start to kind of consider or think better about, because it's a hard work. Your life is around them, isn't it? Your life is all around their needs.
Yeah. It's funny when I look back, and there's different kind of modes of thought in Ireland about it. Kind of small talk is always about how tiring it is, or people kind of lightheartedly give out about it all the time. But it's amazing. I think back before we had kids, and it's just once you've got kids, life is on. It's like the switch goes on, and it's just you're go from then on. And you're planning your free time then, so it's a big change, but yeah, it's good. I love it.
Absolutely. Next one, let's do it. Okay, Jack, next question for you is, how would your partner or best friend describe yourself?
Give me a second now. What would she say? I think she would say, my wife, I think she would say that I do my best and that I'm always working to be better. Yeah. So I think a general kind of statement like that would sum it up pretty well. Yeah.
And if I would ask her something that you need to improve on, to work on, what should say?
What should I improve on?
Yeah, what should say, in her opinion, in her eyes, what do you think should say that you need to improve or to work on in yourself?
She would have said, I need to be working on my phone less, or on my phone in general less. But I have taken that very seriously over the last few weeks. So that's no longer an issue. But yeah, that's a hard one. That was a big deal. Yeah, phones are technology is a real time consumer, especially when you're working on it like social media. It can really start seeping into your free time. So I had to put some things in place to sort that out. But feel a lot better having done it, and we all do. So I'm glad I did it.
Yes, I think nowadays our phone is like an extension of our hand, isn't it? It's like a part of our body, because it's just so you tend to look in your phone like all the time. It's like, even though like you working with social media, it's like constantly, you know that it's always happening, never stops, And yeah. I start getting a habit now. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night, I go straight away to my phone to check, just to see if there is like something on or something. But now I'm starting to watch myself, because you can get a habit, and after it's very difficult for you to get, out of it. And we need to control ourselves. We need to kind of, put some work in place.
It's one of those things, I think, that will just become, I think in the long run, maybe another 20, 30 years, we'll start kind of maybe seeing the downsides of it. But for now, it's still all so new and so accessible, But I mean, look, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems obvious that it can't be too good for the head to always be just on it, and because you're stimulated to such an insane level, especially with like social media, So yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye on.
Good. Next question for you. Jack, before the next question, tell me, of course, with the COVID crisis, for the last 2 years, the world, literally went upside down. Tell me what, in the fitness industry, as a coach as well, what was the biggest positive impacts that COVID brought for the fitness world, in your opinion, and what's the most negative part as well that it brought together along?
Okay, well, the most positive anyway would definitely be a lot of people that would have been initially intimidated by the kind of gym setting. That was taken out of the equation, So I think a massive segment of the population became very open to working out at home, And it's just one of those compound interest kind of things, because the more you do of something like that, and the more progress you make, the more open you are to more of it. The more open you are then to go to the gym, and in the long run, you just become more and more open and immersed and comfortable with it, So definitely the biggest positive change would be the perception that's changed with that, and the openness to working out and not worrying about the gym so much. So that was a big change, definitely for the better. In terms of the worst, in the fitness industry, I don't know. I know a lot of people went the opposite way of getting fitter. It had a lot of negative impacts on the same people that could have 50-50 got healthy, got a lot less healthy. So I don't know what negatively happened to the fitness industry per se. It seemed to me that more people were getting fit, so I could only see the positive in it. But I know there's a lot of people that got less fit. And a lot of people that were big into fitness. I think a lot of the people that were affected the most were people that were actually into fitness. And then when the gyms closed, they actually weren't as quick to adjust to doing it at home. Because a lot of people learned how to work out in the gym. They didn't have like a kind of a fundamental foundation that they could go back to manipulate and do it at home, you know. So that was probably the biggest negative impact on the fitness industry. Yeah.
You know what I found very interesting, Jack, through this process, through this journey, that I think was so fascinating to see people online working out, connect with through Zoom, connect with other people, giving some tips, giving some advice how to work with that. I think it was so fascinating to see that. I loved it because, again, the human being, we found so much a ways to, you know what I mean, to find ourselves, to work it out, to find a way. Personally, I never liked running outdoors. I don't know why. I love being outdoors. I love being in nature, but running, for some reason, I never got into it. I love going to the gym and running there. But of course, during that process, I had no other option to start running in the parks. And guess what? I started enjoying it. And I was like, oh my God, I never thought one day I would enjoy it so much. Like, you know what I mean? Here in England, I don't know, I think Ireland maybe the same rule as well. But I remember at the very beginning, you could leave your home 1 hour per day, like just to go for exercise, something like that. And I remember some way to just like spend like this 1 hour just running around the park. And I was I was impressed how you can change your mindset and how can you adjust yourself to the new world.
Yeah. It's so malleable, like our mindset, the things we enjoy, you know, things we don't enjoy, all that, it can change and fluctuate so easily, especially if we apply any amount of like conscious effort to it, you know. And that's a big part of the tools that I use a lot with clients to just really get them changing these things. It's so quick to create these habits, you know. Even within 10, 12 days, you can already be like 70, 80% there, you know. So that's great though. It's great. I still hate running, but that's great.
But to be honest, the gyms are open now, and I'm back to my old routine. Yeah. But if it stops, but if it's for some reason it stop again, I'm ready to go outdoors and running again. I enjoy it now. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Next question for you is: what does family mean to you?
Yeah, I mean the world, I suppose. I mean, you know, before I had kids, before I was married, before I had kids, I didn't have too much drive or ambition, it was always there, but I didn't actively use any of my energy for it. I used my energy for wasting my time for doing other things. So yeah, family is my driving force for everything I do, really. I want my kids to grow up and you know, I want to have done my best. I don't want to look back and think that I worked too much either, so it's a balance. But I want to look back and think I'm a good example for my kids. They've seen that, you know, anyone can do this, you know, and that you can do whatever you want, and you can still be a father. You can still be home a lot of the time. You don't need to be working insane hours all the time. And yeah, I just want to leave the world when it's all done. I've done my best for them. Yeah.
Oh, very nice message. I love it. Okay, Jack, I have 3 questions left for you. Okay, let's do it. Before the next one, tell me, people who never been in Dublin before, let's say, okay, people watch the interview, they're going to come to Dublin for the very first time. Tell me what is a must to see, what they need to see, what they need to go, places. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, God, I lived in Dublin 6, 7, I think it's nearly 10 years ago now. 10 years ago. So, well, look, Temple Bar is great party life, great nightlife. Yeah. Loads of pubs everywhere, so you know, for that scene, Temple Bar is great. In terms of going for walks, there's some nice greens around there. Stephen's Green is lovely, and it's pretty much in the center of town as well, so you can get everywhere from there fairly easily. In terms of shopping, sure, everywhere. Grafton Street is very good. You go out to Dundrum, there's a great shopping centre there as well. What else? I mean, in terms of attractions, there's the Spire, which I would not recommend. For anyone that doesn't know, the Spire is just a spike in the middle of the city for no apparent reason. So, yeah, that's not too great. But I mean, the zoo is pretty good. Dublin Zoo is pretty good. Phoenix Park is a massive big park which is around the zoo, and that's a beautiful place. And there's loads of wild deer as well that are very tame, and they can literally walk up to them and take pictures with them and stuff. So that's very nice. So yeah, off the top of my head, they're the places that stand out anyway. The Natural History Museum is pretty good.
There's some things that I didn't manage to see because I think you need to book the ticket. Was the distillery where they do the beer, the Guinness?
Oh, yeah, I've never been to it. It's supposed to be great. Yeah, the Guinness one, was it?
Sorry?
Was it the Guinness place you're talking about?
I'm not sure if it was Guinness, but I'm sure it was like a distillery. It was very famous there, but we couldn't get it because you need to book like in advance, and it was packed, so you couldn't. It was something that I don't remember if it was Guinness, but was like a beer place where you could spend 2 hours and you could have some tasting as well. I don't remember, but something that I said, okay, I need to go back again to do that.
Just for that. Very good. Yeah.
Next question for you is: what's your morning ritual, if you have any?
Yeah, my morning ritual is I usually get up around 10 to 8, not too early. 10 to 8. I get up, I get my coffee straight away. Grind our beans again, get a nice AeroPress coffee. I always enjoy good coffee, so that's nice. And then actually there's good beans as well from that are packaged in the area, so they're very nice in Carrick and Shannon. So that's the coffee, and then I usually will meditate, do a bit of prayer, do affirmations, have everything kind of done in about 20-30 minutes. So by 8:30, kind of settled, ready, and then off we go, then into clients, training, getting the day done, driving anywhere I need to drive, and spending time with the kids in between all those things and making sure I kind of spread it out the best I can, because it can be like today, for example, when I'm talking to you, I'm exhausted. I haven't stopped since 8 this morning, so I didn't even have a break before I hopped on with you. But yeah, it's great. It's good. That's the morning.
Are you more of a day or night person?
I'm both. Once I'm up, I'm good. Once I'm out of bed, I'm up. Yeah, and then I don't really get tired. I just go to bed at 11 or 12. Well, the baby doesn't go to sleep till 12:30, so 12:30. That's the time at the moment.
2 questions left, Jack. Let's do it. Next question for you is: what bores you?
What bores me? Mindless TV. Mindless TV. I used to. I spent ludicrous amounts of time watching movies and series, and throughout my teenage years up until my mid-20s nearly. And I've got to a place now where I can't watch anything unless it's really, really good. So it has to be really, really engaging or high quality. I can't watch series that are just kind of pumping out the episodes, or I can't watch TV shows unless they're very original or something like that. I've just seen too many. I've overstimulated my brain, so when I see a movie, all I'm thinking about is the plot, exactly how it's going to play out, because they're always the same. So unfortunately, I've ruined TV for myself, I think.
I think be a dad, I think you're never bored. I think there's always something to do.
Well, that too. Yeah. Although sometimes you just want to close your eyes at 10 in the morning. Don't look though.
Ready for the last one?
Yes, thanks so much.
Let's do it. Last question. Jack, but before the last question, of course, as you deal with clients, with people, you know what I mean, different personalities, different ways of, you know what I mean, adjusting yourself, those people. Of course, as well, I have this thought about, I think personal trainers or, you know, the fitness people, I think they are like personal trainers. At the same time, they are like a psychologist, because they talk people, they share a lot of, you know what I mean, about their day, about their emotions, about what they're going on in their lives, this and so on. Of course, it's a lot of energy, you know what I mean, through your time with them. And how do you do for not to take this, you know what I mean, sometimes take this energy like that can be a bit tricky for you to, you know what I mean, bring this energy for your personal life. You know, I think when you work with people, there's always this challenge for you, because people, all of us, of course, we have emotions. We have, sometimes we share, you know what I mean? Even though I think personal trainers, I think people, they feel very confident and feel like they can talk to them about a lot of things. how do you kind of, do you have any mechanism not to get off, you know what I mean, those energy through your personal life?
Yeah, it's a funny one, you know, because you're emotionally connecting with people,
Mm-hmm.
but they're clients, and they've paid you, and you're connecting with their real life problems, you know. So there's a lot of moving parts that are hard to balance and kind of appropriately do your part, you know. So look, the way I look at it is usually when you're working with people, there's certain points that tend to be the times when people need you the most. And a lot of the time is more kind of just automatic. You just have to kind of be there to kind of tick the boxes with people and make sure they're there, you know. But when they need you, it's usually, you know, maybe a few times out of 8 or 10 or 12, might be 2 or 3 that they really need to talk and get some things sorted out, you know. So when that's the case, I just look at that like that's why I'm here. You know, it's not everything else. It's not all the programming. It's not the time. It's not the nutritional stuff. All that's very simple, you know. The real thing is to be able to, you know, take a step back, help them take a step back, whatever they're going through, to look at the bigger picture. And then 99% of the time, it's just reminding them of what they've already done. And usually when people start, it's getting very dark here. Usually when people look back at even a few weeks of progress, it all just disappears. They're just like, actually, yeah, why am I beating myself up? You know, look at what I've done. Look at this, even on 1 week in. I did 1 week. If you can do 1, you can do 6. If you can do 6, you can do 6 months. You know, it's all the same. It's all just focus, mindset, and trusting the process, you know. So look, the energy is it's what I choose to do. You know, you choose it. You know, and anyone that is a trainer, you choose to put the energy in. And if you don't put the energy in, you know, you're probably not going to be doing it very long, you know. So yeah, it's a balance between the personal life then as well, because if you schedule like, you know, a ludicrous amount of people with those kind of important calls in bulk, that's not a good idea. So I would not recommend anyone do that. But look, they don't usually happen like that, but it can, and sometimes it does. But when that happens, you just do your best. Yeah, it's not all the time. So.
Absolutely. Last question for you is, what are you most passionate about?
Fighting. Love Muay Thai, love boxing. Well, next to coaching people, obviously. But for myself, for my own fun, self-development as well. I think if anyone has any interest whatsoever, I think being able to spar and do that type of training, I think there's nothing like it. It's really a very, very big insight into yourself when you put yourself voluntarily into a position where you're physically a bit at risk, you know, and you're not really, but you know, in your head you are, because you're like, oh, my nose might start bleeding for someone that doesn't do it, or whatever, might get a black eye, but you know, all those things are, you know, they're nothing. They go away very quick, and they're usually not as sore as you think they're going to be either, usually. So so yeah, I would say fine, Muay Thai. I love Muay Thai, so I'm going actually training straight after this, so busy evening. So
good.
I would say.
Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words, and you just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much, and enjoy the word association game. Family.
Wife.
Money.
Lots.
One word for love.
One word for what?
Love.
Honesty.
Huh?
Honesty.
Honesty, perfect. One word for life.
Living.
Sex.
Intimate.
Politics.
Don't care.
Religion.
Important.
One word for friendship.
Connection.
Fear.
Good.
Desire.
Truth.
Regrets.
None.
Success.
Success. Work.
One word for wish.
Brain's getting fried. Wish. Live.
Okay. One word for happiness.
Truth.
One word for personal coach.
Friend. It's the first word that comes to my mind.
Amazing. How about one word for personal trainer?
Clients. That's the first that comes to that one. I don't use that one.
I love it. And the last one now, Ireland. One word.
Weather. Rain. Usually, yeah.
Right, let's pretend I'm going to meet your lovely wife for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, define Jack in one positive word and one negative word only. What she would say?
One positive word, loving. One negative thing, distracted.
Interesting. Right, let's play now Jack and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. You can ask me a question now, Jack.
Cool, William. So I was trying to think. I don't know you enough to ask any other questions, so I thought I'd just ask, what's one thing that you really want to do that means a lot to you before you die?
Oh my God, lovely question. I love that. Wow. Okay, now you put me in the spot now. It's your turn now to get me the spot. Something that I want to... Okay, the first thing now that automatically came to my mind is I would like to to go on holidays to Japan. I would like to spend there at least more than a month, you know what I mean? Because I think Japan is there's so much to see and to explore. And I think one of my bucket lists, I'd like to be able to go there and spend to be, you know what I mean, in touch with their culture. You know what I mean? They are so spiritual. I think they're ahead of us, you know what I mean? The way they approach life, the way they, you know what I mean, they see life. And I think I was working in hotels before in the past, and we had some Japanese guests, and when they were coming to the hotel, my God, the way they were talking to you, the way they were approaching, the way they were, my God, it was just priceless. I love the way, and it made me even more desire to go to Japan to visit and see, because I think it's a beautiful culture. I think it's a lot to learn for sure.
Very nice. Yeah. I'm going to start thinking about that myself now.
Jack, just before you go, actually, I'm going to ask you just to say a positive message. But before that, just tell people watching the interview, would you like to you know what I mean, to join you, you know what I mean, to be fit or to get into the fitness world, or, you know what I mean, you coaching? What would be, tell me what people are expecting if they would join you, they would contact you for, you know what I mean, for some classes, what they are going to expect to have? Yeah,
so look, when you work with me, it's very, very straightforward. I talked to you before, you know, you're working with me, I'll explain exactly the journey ahead, what it entails, what is required, what I do. And, you know, it's not you know, obviously, you know, it's a business for me, but at the same time, I'm not in it to just you tick a box and, you know, treat you like you're a number. You're not. The whole point is to create something meaningful for the person that wants to do it, you know, and to really get completely nailed down consistency and change for the long term. So that's what I do. I'm not in it for messing around or for dragging people through it forever. So that's all I can say.
Amazing. The message out there. Let's join. Let's come to Jack and see what he has to offer. Let's see what's the energy. Jack, before you go, if you just can share a positive message or a positive quote, something that inspires you in life.
Positive goal. Well, look, I was thinking of a quote before I came on. I think I put it on my page a long time ago, but it's one I think a lot of people kind of forget. People get very caught up in their heads, and it holds everyone back. It held me back for a long, long time. I know that anyone I've talked to about it, it's held them back as well. And that's your mindset and what you're thinking, you know. So the quote is very straightforward. It's just your thoughts and your feelings don't define you. Your actions do. And that's it. You know, so take action. And it's one of the things I say in my post a lot. It's, you know, take action, decide what you want. Message me, message anyone that does this. If you don't like me, that's grand. But, you know, take action and do it. Because, you know, sitting around talking about it and thinking about it is not going to do anything. So take action and take control of it. You'll thank yourself later.
Amazing. Jack, thanks so much for the interview. Regards to your wife, to your kids, and keep in touch. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy it. Thanks
Absolutely.
so much.
Look, thanks so much. Really appreciate it, man. All right.
Enjoy your boxing now. Enjoy it.
I'll be coming back with more wrecked shins. Yeah, be good.
Take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
So, did you like the show?
don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.